My autumn videos and series are starting, so if you want to figure out and learn how to achieve this very specific, feminine, niche, girly aesthetic for fall, basically the it girl aesthetic for fall, then keep on watching. Welcome to my first video in my Angelic Autumn series. I'm going to be speaking about all things autumn and giving you guys the whole rundown on how you can have, quite literally, an angelic autumn. And welcome to my first video, which is how to have a very hyper feminine girly autumn, or in other words, a girly fall guide. Class is in session. Let's start these autumn videos. I am immensely excited. I have a pumpkin candle here from Yankee, another candle. My room is autumnalified. I have my jumper on, my hat. Let's go. Grab a drink, do your makeup, tidy your room because we've got a lot to get through. Also, a lot of you keep saying, why don't you just start a YouTube channel? Why don't you just post these long form content videos on YouTube? Well, watch this space. Once again, this video is going to be split into different sections, so it's going to be easy for you guys to take notes on. Wardrobe, aesthetic and the symbolism that it focuses on, early autumn activities, how to create a very feminine bedroom, and then some final tips and tricks at the end. I am so excited, so let's just get into this. So number one is wardrobe, and I have decided to do this portion of the video in kind of like a green screen format so I can show you guys the examples of the clothes I'm referencing. Okay, once again, we're going to start with wardrobe and style because this is something that is so important, first of all. The first thing you're going to want to do if you really want to achieve this hyper feminine chic autumn look is really identify and figure out your colour palette. Are you more pastels? Do you like really light colours no matter what time of year it is? Or are you more of a neutrals person? That's brown, beige, cream, things like that. Or do you prefer dark colours? Or are you a complete mix of all three? It is totally up to you. This is so individual to everyone. Once you have your colours, you also need to focus on your silhouette. A lot of these silhouettes of these autumn outfits, these very feminine, girly fall outfits, have something baggy on top and then something tight at the bottom. It's never usually baggy on baggy. It's something that's quite fitting and is a very flattering silhouette when it's worn. But of course, you have to do what works for you and what you feel most comfortable and confident in. So figure out your colour palette and your silhouette, and then we can go from there. So here are some girly, very feminine staples I think every girly needs in their autumn wardrobe. Oversized sweaters. First of all, a staple. These can be any colour that you prefer: cream, pink, brown, wine red, as well as these fitted sweaters. I really love turtlenecks. I think they are so elegant. They consistently remind me of Audrey Hepburn. Skirts worn with tights is just elegance to me. I love plaid skirts, but you can also get pleather skirts that are kind of that shiny material, or just your staple skater skirt. I have a grey one and a black one and I wear them all the time. A white collar shirt. I think these are so beautiful because you can then wear things like sweater vests or just put them on their own. These are so staple. I think Henley shirts are really girly. I love the brown and the red ones with the little lace panel. An oversized cardigan. I specify oversized because these just give off such a flattering silhouette, especially if worn with loafers and tights and a skirt. An oversized cardigan, probably with some really pretty buttons. Perfect. A little black dress. Now, it's sometimes really hard to figure out what dresses work best for autumn. I think a little black dress, or you can even get plaid dresses, some sort of a fitted dress that you know isn't going to blow up on those windy days. A pea coat. Now, these are very, very popular this year and very on trend. They're kind of those coats that you know have a high neck and they're quite boxy, they're quite short. Pea coats are so, so beautiful. I love the ones with a belt. You can get longer ones, but the short ones are really in style this year. A trench coat. These are timeless, classic. I adore my trench coat. I'm so glad I was able to get one. These are very, very, very classic and just a sign of elegance. If you want to get really trendy, and we're kind of leaning more into the trends of 2025 now, boho chic is really on the rise. Boho chic is something that I discovered kind of at the end of last year and I absolutely fell in love with it. Half of my wardrobe now leans into boho chic. These sort of style tops, these flowy tops are so perfect, and I know you're probably looking at them and thinking, oh my god, they're kind of summery, am I going to be cold? They are so great for layering. You can wear camis under them, you can wear little tops under them. This autumn we're really focusing on the flouncy sleeves, big ruffles, very boho. Fold over boots. Say it with me, fold over boots. These are my new favourite thing, and I got my first pair literally 2 weeks ago. They're brown, they are perfect. If you take anything away from this video fashion-wise, get yourself a pair of these. They are the pristine sign of feminine autumn winter energy. I absolutely love these. These work perfect for boho chic looks as well, but also knee-high boots, classic, very, very simple. Leg warmers, of course. Now you can get ankle ones that go over your ankles, but if you want kind of more of a dressed up look, you can put them under your boots and have them like poking out at the top. A staple bag. Now I found one recently and I am saving up for it, and I just love this specific style. I mean, you guys get whatever you want, but a staple, very elegant looking bag that you can take anywhere. Personally, I prefer the tote style ones that kind of have usually pretty thin straps and then a very, very spacious, big boxy bags. I love those. I think a brown one, a black one, something in a very neutral, solid colour that's going to go with most outfits, I recommend. Berets, these are so classic, very, very French, very beautiful. And then baker boy hats, which are my personal favourite accessory ever. There's also the obvious scarves and gloves. I would recommend, if you are leaning more into accessories, to really stick to things like plaid, neutral colours if you really want that elegant look. But once again, if you have a colour palette that is lighter and you prefer lighter colours, then you guys stick to that. But yeah, berets, baker boy hats, scarves, perfect. Now, of course, aesthetics are very, very rooted in what they look like, the visual symbolization of them and things that make them recognizable. So here are some hyper feminine autumn things that I think are very niche, but are very, very fitting for this aesthetic. And you are probably going to see most of these things when scrolling on Pinterest, on the internet. It's just food for thought of lovely symbolism that I think fits very well into the hyper feminine, girly autumn aesthetic. Hyper feminine outfits, just like the ones we just discussed and covered. Warm and dark makeup looks with eyeliner, maybe a berry lip, a dark shade of blush, eyeshadow. Plaid, tweed and fluffy materials, patterns, fabrics in your clothes. An immensely organised bag system. So a really huge bag, maybe a tote bag style like I was mentioning earlier, but crammed to the top with beautiful things like books, stationery, pens, all your miscellaneous things. It's an organised chaos bag, if you will. Blowout hairstyles, really long, bouncy, voluminous curls, or messy buns. You can't go wrong with a messy bun in autumn. Pops of wine red, ballet flats that are wine red tights, off-the-shoulder sweaters. The grey and wine red colour combo is chef's kiss. I love it so much. Cozy bedrooms, kitten heels and tights combo. Going to cafes, libraries, vintage stores, music stores. Cities during autumn. There's so many of these pictures when I type in hyperfeminine autumn. Large glasses in an elegant glasses case if you want extra points. Pretty stationery, your notebooks, your pencil case, pens, really beautiful, beautiful stationery. Hobbies like calligraphy, reading, crochet, knitting, cross-stitch, writing, playing a musical instrument, jigsaw puzzles, sketching. Big umbrellas. This is kind of a random one, but really big umbrellas. Coffee in takeaway cups, but also coffee and tiny espressos in pretty teacups. Stacks of books, a TBR list that's as long as your arm, and just reading consistently. Elegant cat eye sunglasses and really huge oversized scarves. Vintage Hollywood movies like Audrey Hepburn films, Marilyn Monroe, cozy rom-coms. Vintage music like jazz, literature, poetry, and classical music. Next up is hyperfeminine girly autumn activities. Being a hyperfeminine girly autumn is also really rooted in the activities and the way you choose to spend your time. A lot of these aesthetics wouldn't be these specific aesthetics if it wasn't for the activities and the things we choose to do to achieve them. So I'm going to reel off a list of very feminine girly activities that I've taken inspiration of from Pinterest and just from things I have observed whilst scrolling on the internet, of very feminine girly things to do in autumn. I'm just going to let you have the most feminine, beautiful autumn ever. So let's go. Indulge in slow mornings and evenings that allow you to really romanticize the most of the season. Try new autumn hairstyles. Take yourself to lovely cafes. Try a new autumn makeup look. Frequently visit bookstores, libraries, thrift stores, music shops. Wear UGG boots. I kind of forgot to mention this in the wardrobe section of the video. Make time for hobbies. Now the cozier months are setting in, hobbies is just like, it's hobby season. Do things, puzzles, sketching, writing, painting. Get your nails done. I always get wine red almond shaped nails in autumn. I just got mine done like 2 days ago. Listen to classical music and jazz. Bonus tips if it's on a record player. You are then full maxing to the most. Write poetry. Press autumn leaves that you find out when you're on your walks, in between maybe the pages of classic literature books. Read the classics. If you are someone that isn't a reader, really challenge yourself to reading a classic. See how you get on with it. Have a signature scent for autumn. This is such a feminine thing. I think having signature scents for any specific season of the year is such a beautiful sign of elegance. Having a signature fall scent just speaks volumes to me. Bake and cook. There are so many beautiful baking recipes on Pinterest. Likewise, as there are with cooking recipes, you can get really, really seasonal. Use all seasonal produce, spices, vegetables. Watch girly coded autumn TV shows. Things like Gossip Girl and Gilmore Girls are like the two most probably popular ones, but there's got to be some others. Indulge in some really good girly TV, and likewise, romantic rom-coms. Autumn rom-coms, You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally. Self-care. Indulge in your self-care. This is a feminine trait anyway. Really taking care of your inner self, your mental health, your physical health as well, is a feminine thing anyway, but especially in the colder seasons. We're now transitioning, and autumn bath products and shower products, all the stuff, body lotion, hand cream, lip balm, everything. Take time for you, meditate, journal, go on long walks, just be in solitude. Have a signature drink of the season. Now this can be applied to things like, you know, pumpkin spice, coffee, but also having a signature alcoholic drink for the season I think is lovely. Something you usually only drink in autumn, or something you usually only drink at Christmas. I think it's really elegant. And then scrapbook and journaling. I think photography is a really beautiful hobby, and what would be a more lovelier thing, and it's very, very feminine, I think, to put your memories in specific scrapbooks and journals, and writing dates of when you found certain things or when you photographed certain things. I think that's really lovely. Let's talk how to create a very feminine, girly autumn bedroom. I have already spoken on how to create an autumn bedroom, I think probably multiple times this season, and it's not even officially autumn, but there are some staples I think are important and are staple to have if you want to create a feminine, girly autumn bedroom, which is slightly different. Big throws and fluffy blankets. You can get these in a variety of colours. The bigger, the fluffier, the better, okay? And loads, multiple throws, as well as really soft bedding. I feel like we kind of lean into the fact of like, if the bedding's cute, then we'll buy it, but think of like the softness of it, because I have certain bedding sets that are like, ugh, they're really hard and wrinkly to get into and I don't like getting into them. Soft bedding. You can also think about getting silk pillowcases, silk sheets. It's completely up to you. Pillows, plushies, whatever is your preference of making your bed as girly and as cozy as possible. Candles and long candles. So things like this. And you can also get the really, really pretty like long candlesticks, which like I have some, you can't see that over there. Long candlesticks. I think they're the epitome of elegance and femininity. Fairy lights. Fairy lights just make any room cozy, but they are so girly. There's something really nostalgic about string lights. I love it. Cozy vibes. Pretty books, picture frames, ornaments, antiques, anything pretty on display. One of my favourite things to do for the seasons is, say it's autumn, I will go shopping in vintage stores for autumn coded ornaments, and usually you can get some pretty beautiful things. Flowers. A beautiful autumnal bunch or bouquet of flowers. You can make it your own. You can arrange a beautiful autumn bouquet and put in all the colours, the oranges, the browns, and then a record player. I feel like a record player is just so autumnal vintage. Oh, my heart screams. I'm getting a record player soon, you guys, and I'm so excited. I'm just trying to find the perfect one. A record player is the epitome of vintage elegance to me. I must have a record player in my life. And then finally, some tips and tricks that I have. So use Pinterest as your main source of inspiration. I say this in every video for every topic, but it is so true. Pinterest is your best friend, okay? You don't know what to wear? Go on Pinterest. You don't know how to do your hair? Go on Pinterest. Use it for outfit inspiration, bedroom inspiration, hair, etc. Figure out your feminine energy type. Now, this is kind of random, but do you lean into the more light feminine energy? Do you prefer dressing in all light colours and your aura is very light? Or are you kind of like a black cat? Do you kind of tap more into your dark feminine energy? Figuring this out is so much fun. I like to think that everyone's kind of got like a little bit of both in them. And I know that Ariana Grande says that about like most of her songs, because she has some really like songs and then some sexy songs. So tapping into your feminine energy and figure out what that one is. Savor the season. Why are we rushing? Savor it. It's here. It's nearly here. Savor it. Make every moment count. Take it slow. Do not rush. Enjoy the season. Tap into your feminine energy. This is it, guys. This is it.